ago to John Watkins in Cardiff in the United Kingdom, and I've never talked to you in person. John, we appreciate you coming on with us.
Hi, Alex. Thanks for having me on the show. It is a real pleasure to be able to speak with you. I mean, yeah, you were so right. Everything you said is just so right. You know, this censorship issue is something that we really can't afford to ignore, because, you know, it's our free speech we're talking about, really, you know, and I noticed this, you know, the first time I actually noticed this kind of censorship taking place on the internet was about 2 years ago, when Google started censoring movies like Tiresome and Loose Change, and the censorship was just so crude and so obvious and so sneaky that it was just infuriating to watch. You know, I mean, for example, as you said, resetting the hit counters, you know, on certain videos like Tiresome to knock them out of the top 10 list. You know, when I saw that, first of all, I thought, well, maybe it is some kind of software error, but it was happening so often, and it only seemed to happen to truth videos. And another thing I noticed was that on Google Video, they would display the top 10 videos on their homepage. And now, at this time, 2 years ago, I think Tiresome and Loose Change were there in the top 10. They displayed every other video that was in the top 10 on their homepage except Tiresome and Loose Change. And again, you know, that set a few alarm bells ringing, you know, in my mind. Then in February of 2007, a couple of months later, Google pulled the infamous BBC video where they reported that Building 7 had collapsed, you know, 20 minutes before it actually did collapse. And, you know, every time somebody tried to upload that video, it was pulled within minutes. And it really was laughable to see. You know, you could sense the panic at Google. They didn't want that video, you know, going out there, basically. But then when people, you know, started to wise up to those tricks, what they did then was just remove the hit counters completely from all videos. So we couldn't really verify for ourselves which videos were actually the most popular. We just basically have to take Google's word for it.
And YouTube is now moving in that same direction, as is MySpace and many others, censoring at every level. So it's here, it's happening, and they shouldn't hold themselves out as this free, open community. And then, when our videos don't violate any of their rules or terms, they go in and specifically target them for censorship. This is false advertising. This is fraud.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It is fraudulent, you know. And it was this censorship that I witnessed 2 years ago on Google that made me want to start up a YouTube channel. And back then, Google didn't own YouTube, and there wasn't that much censorship going on YouTube at that time. There probably was some, but it was nothing like it is today. You know, so at that time I thought, you know, I'll put out some videos on YouTube and hopefully try and get this information out there to people, you know. And so, you know, it's thanks to you, Alex, and people like you that, you know, I've been able to expand my worldview. And when you realize the manipulation that's taking place, you know, due to this globalist elite, the first thing you want to do is inform other people, and that's what I'm trying to do on YouTube, is just to get you know, info out there to wake people up. And now it's become so difficult, and it only seems to be after Google bought YouTube, that is when all this censorship seemed to kick in, because it didn't really exist back, you know, 2 years ago, but now it's, you know, it's rife on YouTube right now. And you know,
and that's because we're going into a worldwide controlled depression. The banks are engineering it. They're getting ready to launch new wars. They just tried to start World War III between Pakistan and India, as Paul Watson covered earlier. We need you to make one on that, Nuff, because, I mean, so much is... I mean, you're absolutely right. It's all coming to a head. They have the Violent Radicalization Act they're trying to pass. They list architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth with al-Qaeda terrorists. They're getting desperate. They're the crooks. And higher-ups are saying, shut them down, but that's actually great news, because it shows we're having an effect.
Exactly, that's right. You know, and I think it scares them that we're getting information out there to the masses. And, you know, I mean, on YouTube, the methods of censorship now are just so blatant. You know, one method is where, I mean, they remove videos under the excuse that they contain inappropriate content. And this has happened to me a few times. About
Oh, I'll have videos that don't even show a woman in a short skirt, and they get banned for inappropriate. Or people creating fake Alex Jones accounts. Then they themselves go in and complain on me. Stuff gets shut down. There's people also editing my videos together where I'm saying racist things. But yeah, tell folks about some of the other tactics.
Well, as I say, you know, they remove videos under the pretense that they contain inappropriate content. But YouTube doesn't give you any explanation as to what it is that they deem to be inappropriate. So you're just left in the dark, basically. And you know, the one thing I noticed with the videos that they removed of mine under the pretense of, you know...